Imagine it is May 2026. You wake up, reach for your phone, and there is no signal. A global internet outage hits. It is not just your Wi Fi, the entire nervous system of modern civilization has gone dark for 24 hours. Everything from global finance to basic logistics will stop dead in its tracks. The modern economy functions on invisible, high speed digital rails. Credit card processing and online banking are the lifelines of global trade. When the internet goes dark, these payment rails freeze instantly. Transactions cannot be verified, and liquidity evaporates. From the consumer's smartphone to the merchant's point of sale, the economic ecosystem enters a state of total paralysis. Digital verification, the foundation of modern commerce, ceases to function. With no communication between issuing banks and merchants, the verification loop breaks. What usually takes milliseconds becomes impossible, effectively stopping the flow of capital globally. Modern global commerce relies on just-in-time supply chains, a system where efficiency is driven by real-time data. This constant flow of inventory, shipping, and automated customs data acts as the heartbeat of the modern warehouse. However, these systems are entirely dependent on the internet to function. A total outage forces a complete halt in communication. Without connectivity, inventory tracking systems go dark. Automated restocking orders cannot be placed, and customs protocols freeze. Warehouse management systems lose their digital vision, leaving inventory in limbo. In a 24-hour window, these missing signals translate into significant gridlock across the global economy. Power grids and water treatment plants now rely on cloud-based monitoring to function efficiently. When the internet connection is severed, these digital links disappear instantly. Consider municipal wastewater treatment. Systems like this are orchestrated through complex, interconnected industrial IoT dashboards. Without cloud updates, these automated processes face immediate instability. To prevent damage, systems enter fail-safe modes. This logic, often represented in ladder diagrams, keeps the system stable but severely limits capacity, often leading to involuntary shutdowns or reduced output. The final result for the public is a loss of predictability. Without cloud oversight, utility operators are forced to initiate rolling blackouts and service interruptions to preserve the physical integrity of the grid. By the 12-hour mark, the nature of the internet outage shifts dramatically. What began as a digital inconvenience now manifests as a systemic crisis in our physical infrastructure. Regional data indicates that at 12 hours, distribution networks for perishable goods fail. Urban centers begin to experience significant gaps in food supply as just-in-time inventory systems go dark. Similarly, fuel logistics stop functioning. Without the digital coordination of tankers and pumping infrastructure, gas stations face immediate shortages, freezing the mobility of essential services. The 12-hour turning point represents the bridge between digital silence and the real-world collapse of urban resource distribution. By hour 18, the sustained absence of digital communication creates an information vacuum. Without official updates, public anxiety shifts from uncertainty into volatile action. This anxiety manifests physically. As digital payment rails fail and uncertainty grows, panic buying at grocery stores and pharmacies creates sudden localized shortages. Communication breakdowns lead to social volatility. Without the stabilizing feedback of the internet, social cohesion fractures, particularly in densely populated areas. The final result is a shift in the status quo. By hour 18, the panic factor transforms the quiet of the outage into a chaotic social reality. A 24-hour global internet outage is estimated to cost the world economy between $60 and $80 billion in direct lost productivity. This impact is severe in manufacturing, where automated supply chains face immediate paralysis. A single hour of downtime can cost large manufacturers over $5 million. The $60 billion figure is merely the tip of the iceberg. Indirect costs, such as long-term supply chain disruption and infrastructure repair, extend the damage far beyond the initial day. Understanding this distinction is vital. We are measuring not just a momentary pause, but a systemic shock to global trade. In a 24-hour internet outage, damage is not linear. It follows an exponential path. Early on, the system holds, but as time passes, the impact accelerates. The final 6 hours are significantly more destructive than the first six. Small, manageable errors at the start cascade, overwhelming essential infrastructure like hospitals and emergency dispatch. A ripple in communication quickly drags down the power grid. When the grid fluctuates, hospitals and emergency dispatch systems suffer cascading failures. The multiplier effect turns a minor glitch into a societal crisis. Many nations are developing sovereign clouds, national intranets designed to operate independently if the global internet backbone is severed. During a total global blackout, the global connections are lost. These intranets allow essential government functions and local communications to survive even when the world is offline. However, these systems are not a replacement for global commerce. Because the global infrastructure is gone, international trade remains frozen. National intranets offer a safety net, but in a 24-hour crisis, they are limited to local stability rather than global connectivity. Modern connectivity increasingly relies on low Earth orbit satellite constellations. A 24-hour total outage implies a catastrophic failure of these space-based assets. When the sky itself goes dark, our ground-based infrastructure loses its critical sync. Unlike ground infrastructure, space assets are nearly impossible to repair manually during a crisis. Offline-first computing is a design philosophy where applications prioritize local functionality over cloud connectivity. Instead of requiring a live connection to perform tasks, the system stores data locally and synchronizes changes only when a network is available. This diagram illustrates the synchronization flow. The device uses local storage, like SQLite, allowing users to create content instantly. When the network is restored, the synchronization service pushes those changes to the central web server. Advanced frameworks like Android's Room library facilitate this by abstracting data access. By using entities and data access objects, developers can decouple the application interface from the database state, providing a robust buffer against connectivity drops. By prioritizing local-first design, developers are building a more resilient digital infrastructure. This architecture ensures that even in the face of widespread outages, our most essential tools remain operational. The 2024 Meta outage serves as a critical blueprint. It revealed that our global digital economy is essentially a house of cards built on interconnected APIs. When a single major service platform fails, it triggers a cascade. Because services are so tightly coupled, the failure ripples through the entire stack, impacting apps far removed from the source. The lesson is clear. We must move toward decoupling systems. Resilience requires that local services can survive even when the central network bridge is severed. Cybersecurity analysts identify a critical vulnerability. Our focus is narrow. While we are highly effective at defending against targeted cyber attacks, we are underprepared for systemic, non-targeted global outages. Our infrastructure is deeply interdependent. A failure in one node, like power, propagates instantly through water and transport systems. Our current workflows prioritize speed and efficiency in execution. However, they lack robust manual fallback modes required for catastrophic events. We prioritize constant connectivity and automated speed. Yet, the resilience gap grows because we neglect the essential manual systems that ensure continuity when networks fail. The industry goal for 2027 is graceful degradation. This standard focuses on building systems that maintain functionality when the cloud environment becomes unreachable. Traditionally, when the internet vanishes, integrated systems experience a hard crash, leading to total operational failure. Graceful degradation allows these systems to automatically switch to manual or local-only processing modes, keeping core services alive during an outage. By prioritizing localized autonomy, engineers ensure that essential infrastructure continues to function, effectively insulating critical operations from global network instability. The internet has fundamentally evolved. It is no longer just a luxury. For millions, it is now considered a digital human right. This status shift forces international law to reconsider infrastructure. If a tool is a right, does its absence become a humanitarian failure? We are left with a critical question. Is a 24-hour total blackout a manageable technological glitch, or is it a major crisis that demands international intervention? As connectivity underpins our basic rights, our resilience must match the stakes. The internet is now the heartbeat of modern society. After 24 hours of darkness, the restoration of the global internet is not a simple switch flip. It is a massive, coordinated effort to bring critical infrastructure back online. The process begins with a systematic restart. Automated scripts reestablish handshake protocols across global nodes, a process that requires absolute precision to prevent further instability. Security is the most critical hurdle. Before data can flow freely, engineers must perform exhaustive integrity checks. We must confirm the outage wasn't a mask for a coordinated cyber attack. Finally, systems must clear an enormous backlog of queued data. Traffic is throttled, prioritizing essential services like emergency responders and utilities until the network stabilizes. A total internet outage forces us to rethink our reliance on centralized systems. The first lesson is the necessity of localized infrastructure. Digital systems are fragile. We must invest in physical redundancy, tools that function perfectly well without a cloud connection. Finally, we must prepare the population to operate offline. Safety and emergency tools should be built to persist even when the network drops. By building local, keeping analog backups, and staying prepared, we reduce our vulnerability to global digital collapses. The focus has shifted toward hardening the hardware. Engineers are testing how physical devices can operate autonomously without constant cloud tethering. We are learning that the most resilient system is one that can survive being disconnected entirely. Hardening hardware means embedding intelligence directly into the device, ensuring that when the network drops, the machine keeps running. 24-hour global blackout would serve as a severe shock to our modern civilization, but it is also a powerful catalyst for systemic improvement. The path forward lies in shifting toward offline-first architectures. By ensuring that essential systems can function locally, we reduce our dependency on constant connectivity. This transition transforms our fragile network into a macro-level structure capable of graceful degradation. It ensures that when the signal drops, the world doesn't have to stop. Ultimately, building a resilient digital future is not just about code and infrastructure. It is about human preparedness. By designing for the edge cases, we safeguard our digital civilization.